What is up, Insaners, and welcome to the first ever episode of our FPL series. We'll be doing a lot of these videos for the coming game weeks, and we're starting with something today which is a concern for everyone right now. Now the question is how to crack game week 18 and 19. Now game week 18 is a blank game week where only certain teams are playing, and game week 19 is a double game week where certain teams have two games. So we'll be covering different strategies that we think can help you achieve the best possible points and ranks over these game weeks. We'll also try to cover what we're thinking for our team in terms of the way forward, so sit tight and let's get into it. Now before we get into discussing different strategies, it is very important for us to understand what is a blank game week and what's a double game week. A lot of you might already be aware of these concepts, but for those of you who are playing FPL for the first time, a blank game week is a week in which a team has no fixture. In blank game week 18, there are only 5 fixtures, so only 10 teams are playing in that particular game week. Now what is a double game week? A double game week in FPL is when a team has 2 fixtures in the same FPL game week. Now these are the teams who have double game weeks: Burnley, Chelsea, Fulham, Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, Man United, Southampton, West Brom and West Ham. Now let's discuss the different strategy options. The first option is playing a free hit in blank game week 18 and then having an option of playing bench boost in game week 19. Now this will be probably the most popular option, especially for managers who have played the game before. We're also thinking on similar lines, but we'll come to our team a little later. Again, it's not necessary that you only bring players based on the double game week and ignore game week 20 and ahead, but at a minimum you should at least have 8 to 9 players who have a double game week. Also, if you don't have players on the bench who have a double game week, it doesn't make sense for you to play bench boost in game week 19. But if you have more than 11 players having double game week, it's definitely a good option to play. The strategy heavily focuses on game week 19 and you play a free hit in game week 18, trying to get the best possible 11. Now the second strategy option is to plan free transfers for game week 18 and then play a free hit chip in game week 19. So you plan your substitutions around game week 18 blank and then try to get in 11 players who are playing in game week 18. Then in game week 19 you play a free hit chip. Now one downside to this is that you can't play your bench boost and free hit chip together because you can only use one chip in one game week. So if you play a free hit, you won't be able to bench boost. Now this is another strategy where you don't use any chips. Now let's say if you've used your free hit by any chance or you've even played your bench boost, then just try to create a balanced squad including both game week 18 and game week 19 players. You might lose out on points in these two game weeks, but let's say if you have any chips available, you can use it for later blanks in game week 29 and 33 when the EFL and FA Cup games will take place. More double game weeks coming in 26, 32 and 37, so you can use those chips later on as well. So how do you decide your strategy? Now if your team is stacked with Man City, Tottenham and Everton players, definitely go for strategy 2 where you plan free transfers for the blank game week 18 and then you play a free hit in game week 19. Now all these teams have good game week 18 fixtures, so it makes sense to use this option where you'll be planning for game week 18 and then playing a free hit chip in game week 19. Now if you have a majority and a mix of Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Southampton, West Ham and Leeds players, then definitely go for strategy 1 and plan for game week 19. Get in as many players possible before game week 18 in your team who have double game weeks and simply use your free hit chip in game week 18 to get in your Man City, Tottenham and Everton assets. Now how do you decide whether you should play bench boost or not in game week 19? Now you have a wide selection of players to choose, especially if you have budget midfielders from West Ham, Leeds and Southampton. So if you have a bench where players are playing a regular 90 minutes and might even get some attacking returns, definitely play the bench boost. A negative aspect of bench boost is that you might have to get rid of players like Button, who's a non-playing keeper, Mitchell, who's a filler, and some more players like these, which will alter your plans for your starting 11. So if you have players who don't even start games but you have a good 11, then definitely avoid playing the bench boost right now. Save it for a later game week and we're sure it's gonna come very handy. Now how to choose your best squad for game week 18 and game week 19. First, coming to game week 18, if you're playing your free hit, that means you'll be focusing on getting as many players as possible in game week 19. Now there's only one standout fixture here where Man City is facing Brighton at home. Now the ideal thing to do here is go for a City triple up in Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling and a defender. Now Diaz is the most nailed on right now, so probably you could go for him. Now Spurs is facing Aston Villa and there will be goals in this game for sure, so you can try to get in Son or Kane or even both if you go for a cheaper City midfielder. Now Jack Grealish is another good option from the same fixture. Apart from that, you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton. He's facing a Wolves team who is playing below par at the moment, so we would really fancy him to score a goal or even more against Wolves. Now, Callum Wilson is also a good option versus Sheffield United. Now Zaha is another player who could score big in this particular game week, as he's facing a struggling Arsenal side who have lost 4 of their last 5 games in the Premier League. Now coming to the Game Week 19 fixtures, Chelsea have a couple of decent games against Fulham and Leicester, and though Chilwell and James might be doubtful for these games, Kurt Zuma and Thiago Silva and even Mendy are decent options in defence. The way Leeds play, they should definitely score in their games against Brighton and Southampton. Bamford and Rodrigo are good picks in attack. You can also go for someone like a Harrison, or if you want to go differential, then Rafinha is a decent option. Dallas in defence also provides great value and should be in for a good FPL haul. Leicester also has a double game week, with standout picks being Justin in defence and Jamie Vardy, who has the ability to score against any defence in the Premier League. Liverpool looks like the most exciting team right now, and they can definitely score big against Burnley. Manchester United might be a tricky game, and considering it's an away game for United, they would definitely pose a challenge. A lot of options at Liverpool though. Premium picks include Salah, Mane, Robertson and Trent. Some differential picks if you want to take that route include Matip and Firmino in attack. Now Manchester United would hope to continue their good run, and Bruno Fernandes might be a good option for these game weeks. Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford are also options in attack that you can go for. Southampton and West Ham also have some great budget options which you can have in your team for their double game week. These include Che Adams, Ward-Prowse and Walcott if you want to go differential. Now McCarthy in goal, Kyle Walker-Peters, Vestergaard and Bednarak are also high value picks in defence. West Ham too are looking solid, with Fabianski in goal, Cresswell, Ogbonna and Koufal being the standout picks in defence. Bowen and Souček also look great and are high value cheap midfielders, and Antonio can be a huge differential if he's fit to feature in these games. Now this is what we have in terms of our team. We have Martinez in goal, we have Dyer, Dallas and Stones as our defence. Son, Grealish, Fernandes, Salah in the middle, Kane and Bamford in terms of our striking options. We've got a transfer done for this week where we've replaced Callum Wilson because he has some tough fixtures with Che Adams, who's facing Fulham away from home. Now in terms of our substitutes, that is where the problem lies. Martin is not a playing goalkeeper. Lamptey in defence is definitely ruled out for the next game against West Ham. Frank Lampard has also confirmed that James won't be playing at least the next 2 fixtures for Chelsea, and we have Bissouma. We're somewhere in the middle where we can adopt strategy 1 or strategy 2. We have a mix of Man City, Tottenham and Aston Villa players who have a match in Game Week 18. We also have 5 players who have a double game week in Game Week 19, so we can choose either option. But it looks like in the coming game weeks and the matches after Game Week 19, this is more or less the squad that we would want to hold. Obviously, there are a few changes that we would want in this squad. So we'll go ahead and choose strategy 1, where we are playing the free hit chip in Game Week 18 and then working towards and getting more transfers, building a squad for Game Week 19. We've got Che Adams in from Southampton in place of Callum Wilson from Newcastle. Newcastle has a couple of very tricky fixtures and it's a sensible move to get Che Adams. Now this is what we're thinking in terms of Game Week 16. We're thinking of transferring out Lamptey, who's anyways not fit, and we're thinking of getting Koufal from West Ham. He has some decent fixtures, plus he has that double game week. So we'll have 7 players by Game Week 16 who are playing double game weeks in Game Week 19. Now considering Liverpool's form in the past few games, I think it becomes very important for us to have at least one defender from Liverpool. The likes of Trent, Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson are very expensive and we might not be able to afford them. But a cheaper alternative in the Liverpool defense is Joel Matip. Now he might not give you the same attacking returns as Robertson and Arnold, but he still is a very dangerous player when it comes to free kicks and corners, and he definitely can score a goal. So we'll try to get in Joel Matip in place of Eric Dyer. Now this move from Eric Dyer to Joel Matip in Game Week 17 will help us have 8 players who are playing double game week in Game Week 19. Now coming to Game Week 18, obviously we are using the free hit chip in our Game Week 18, and we'll be doing a separate video in terms of what's the best 11 for Game Week 18 when you are on your free hit chip. Now in terms of a final transfer for Game Week 19, we're also thinking of probably shipping out Harry Kane and getting in Jamie Vardy. Again, this is not confirmed, but by getting Jamie Vardy in our team, we'll be having 9 players who will be having a double game week, and that puts us in a very good position. There are a couple of more cases that we wanted to touch upon. Let's say if you have a wildcard left, then definitely do it this week or even in Game Week 16 and build towards the double game week. Have as many players as possible having 2 games. Use the free hit chip in Game Week 18 and you'll be in a good position to use the bench boost for Game Week 19. This in fact is the most ideal position to be in right now. For those of you who are planning to use their new and second wildcard of the season, we'll recommend you to not use it right now and save it for later game weeks. Also, the triple captainship should be saved for later games. There are no 2 standout fixtures in Game Week 19 that you can go for, so avoid using it right away. That'll be all for today's episode, guys. We'll be doing another video on the best Game Week 18 team options very soon. Along with this, there'll be regular content on our Instagram channel Insanely Football, which will help you plan for the Double Game19. We felt that there was so much to explain, guys, and the best way to do this was through a video. So do hit the like button if you like this video. Show us your support by subscribing to our channel Insanely Football for more FPL content, and hit the bell icon if you want to get notified of our coming videos. Also, let us know if you want us to make videos on anything specific. Watch out for the space. Lots of content coming your way. These are exciting times, and I will see you Insaners next time.